see our data, and you can use this information to validate your models. So this is one of the very useful use of the satellite altimeter. When you come to the next important aspect is the tsunami modeling. Now there are three processes. One is generation, propagation, and inundation. Now these models are based on the seismic deformation as an input to predict the runoff heights and the inundation levels. We will not go into the details, but the seismic deformation is basically on the various earthquake parameters, which is its location, its focal depth, its right, dip, the slip movement, and many others. So this is very complex to have this information and to build your model. And this model, at the time of event, it takes very long time. So what is normally, okay, I'll come to that. Before that, the one thing which is very important is, as I told you, that the most important aspect is the rupture or the earthquake characteristics. Now we have not been able to use the GPS because it gives you the rupture information. Many of you might have noticed that the initial earthquake parameters which were done in Japan or any other major earthquake, it was 7.9, and later on it's changed to 9. Now 7.9 to 9 is a large amount of change. It's almost 30% more powerful than it. Now we are unable to detect the earthquake parameters immediately because you are want to do it within minutes, and the initial, the model scenario which you choose, which will be a few meters, could turn to be tens of meters if it becomes 9. And this is precisely what happened in Japan, during Sumatra. Initially, all were measured at 7.8, 7.9, and the entire thing worked on that day, while the earthquake was 9. So this, if you can use GPS, it will give you the rupture, and once you know the rupture characteristics pretty well, you would be able to convert this into a magnitude, which would be quite useful for the analysis and the actual prediction of the tsunami heights. Now, as far as the model is concerned, we have divided into the entire zone into a unit source of 50 kilometers by 100 kilometers, and that you find out what is the likely skip rates at the different earthquake. There are two ways. One is you can have all earthquakes generated for different magnitude and different depths. For each of this, there are about 1,000 blocks, and you create the large database and store, which could be about 15 to 20 terabytes of data, which you can keep stored and try to pick up the right signal. Another is you assume that the earthquake is not continuous, but into short units of 7.5. So each you can create scenarios like this for 7.5 and upscale it when you know exact earthquake parameter. So this is what has been done. It tells you about the direction of the major waves. It tells you about the time and the height. So these are the three information which is required for, and this is simulated and kept ready because each model takes running about 90 minutes, and at the time of event you can run. So we have a large database of such simulated data in our database. The earlier one was for the source of Indonesia. This is a source as a Makan coast. This is 1945. We had a tsunami. This is from the Arabian Sea, and it was not much noticed, but it did damage quite a bit on the Indian coast. So we have the scenarios for two sources. One is the Makan coast, and other is the Andaman Nicobar Sumatra Indonesian coast. Now, how good is the performance of the model? I told you that the tidal data, we are able to use it for the validation of this model, and this is the model which is predicted at the different locations. The Padang and all these are in Indonesia. These are our water pressure recorders. This is in Port Blair and Chennai, India, and Mali. Now, the last one is the inundation modeling, which is most crucial because most of these models give you information about 30 meters from the coast. After 30 meters to the coast, you have to use the different models to take how much inundation is likely to take place. And for this, it is very crucial because this is an area where you know how much population or what kind of infrastructure is going to be affected by this. So you need very accurate bathymetry and topographic data on the order of meters. And of course, bathymetry is still a challenge to get very accurate data. Topographic data is now with using the aerial radar as well as the stereo satellite data. In this case, we have used Cartosat-1 to prepare the DEM and then use them into the information. Also, we need to link this vulnerability maps to the administrative units because ultimately the information goes to the respective administrative units and we have to tell that how exactly this administrative unit has to respond to the change. And also now 3D modeling, you can even visualize the inundation and you can identify the routes. You can go up to the buildings and tell that these could be the safe houses as well. So this is the kind of a map which is a very high resolution Cartosat data. And you can see some lines, green, yellow, red on this. And this we have tried to make it very simple in the sense that there are only 3 categories, 0 to 3, 3 to 6, and 6 to 9 meter inundation. So 0 to 3 means it's the ground level is likely to be affected. 3 to 6 is the first floor, and 6 to 9 is the second floor as well. So this gives you the overall idea that how exactly or what level of the inundation is expected based on your inundation levels estimated from the simulated data. This is another which we have been using now, the aerial radar data, which gives you very high resolution coastal topographic information, and this also is incorporated into the model so that we get almost 50 to 60 centimeter level accuracy in preparing the coastal topography. And ultimately the maps are prepared something like this. The maps are on cadastral level. In India, cadastral is around 5,000 scale, 1 is to 5,000 scale, and which has all the land use, and you can see the areas which are likely to be affected by the inundation. So this also you can do online, and once you have all the information available, you can create the maps which would be useful for the people to take necessary action. And this also has, we have what we call as a survey number, so you can provide the information each survey number wise, and all the data on the population, everything is available as per the survey, and what kind of infrastructure. So we can also estimate what is likely the economic loss could happen because of this. Also, we have been using the fly-through. Of course, I think there is some problem. It's not going through, but this fly-through also is been made. This is in the Visakhapatnam, and here also we have the 3 levels. The red is the most dangerous, and then yellow, and then green, and this white area are the safe areas, so you know where to go as well. Also, we have created some kind of you can create the complete at the different levels, and you can go right up to the building. We have done this for a test case where for each building the kind of people are staying, their lifestyle, at what time they would be normally out of the house, at what time they are coming back to the house, their mobile numbers, their office, all such things, building-wise has been created for a about 100-kilometer stretch, which will be expanded to be all most vulnerable areas, to use this information for the evacuation as well as to find out what kind of area are likely to be affected. You can see even, in a shop what kind of, how much food grains is stored and this could be a very powerful system to make use in any disaster kind of thing. The most important aspect in all such things is the communication. Because if the communication fails either to receive the scientific data or to disseminate the information which is generated, may not all these investment will progress. So we have always redundant communications. There will be more than one communication system for each and everything, so that in any case it does not fail. Normally we use all VSAT and our own satellite VSAT, also the broadband internet, and we have a virtual private network for the disaster management system where all concerned agencies have a private network, which is again through a satellite, so that there is no problem to communicate with either the agencies who generate the information and the agencies who manage the disasters. So this is completely in place, and of course apart from this, phone, fax, satellite phones, etc. is also used. Also this data center is very crucial, and it has to be almost like a mission critical facility, like something which you have for the launching of satellites or the launching of rockets. And there are a lot of hardware, softwares, and the technical support facilities in this. I won't go into details, but this is what is the heart of the entire system. And it has to be, there are redundancy, there is absolutely mirror site somewhere else, so that which in case this center has some problem, the mirror site will take over the entire process of delivering the information, and this is in place. Now, all this, once you have, as you realize that the time available is very, very short, and you need a very robust decision support system to take necessary decisions at the time. And we have seen that many times, the tsunamis and all such things do not come at the right time, that office time, 9 to 5, it can come at any time. And so the system, at least the first information, has to be such that it generated completely automatic. So you have to create all the criteria-based system, which takes all the operations from the beginning of the event to the end. Now the first bulletin, which has to go within minutes, because many times you have about 20-30 minutes of time. So if you don't give the information within minutes, it is not much of use. So this is what has been created, a decision support system to provide essentially 3 types of services. We have one is the earthquake source information and whether there is a potential tsunami threat or not. Now this is what we call as the earthquake source information service level 1, which has to go within minutes. The second, which is specific tsunami information, which you give a expected wave height, expected travel time, potential threat zones, and you also have confirmed that the tsunami is, and what is your confidence. And this goes as a service level 2. And the third level is what you provide about the inundation, how much inundation is going to take place, what are the areas and how much risk has that likely to come. So there are 3 different levels, and the decision support system has to cater to all these 3. So this is the kind of a system. I'm not very sure that everybody would be able to read everything, but it has a different stages. As you can see, that the first one is the preliminary information, and then this goes within minutes. Then second level, which is confirmation, it could be either cancellation